finale of She-Hulk recently came out, and I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts and review on the entire series. Well, I guess it has been nearly 2 weeks since the finale came out. It took me a little bit of time to get this video out, but that's okay. If you've been following along either on my TikTok or on this channel, I did post a reaction to each episode, so I hope you were able to enjoy those. But now I'm gonna give just a full-fledged review, what I thought about the show as a whole. Although, to start off, I am going to include a snippet. It's just a couple minutes that I'm also posting on my TikTok as well. That is a ranking of each of the episodes by my enjoyment, so I hope you enjoy that. Let's do that real quick. Hello, today I'm going to rate each episode of She-Hulk based on my enjoyment. So I've set up this graph. It ranges from 0% enjoyment to 100% enjoyment. At the beginning we started off kind of in the middle at 50%. I was kind of on the fence about it. It was decent, but it felt pretty cheesy. Then the second episode was pretty much the same. I put it at 50% again. The plot moved forward, but it still felt like not that much happened yet. By episode 3, I was enjoying it a little bit more. The court cases were fun with Emil and with the Megan Thee Stallion impersonator, and I liked the Wong cameo. Episode 4 was definitely the best episode up to this point because it had a fun court case with the magician, but it also had real superhero action fighting the demons at the end, so that definitely made it a lot more fun. Episode 5 I put down at about 60% again, like episode 3. It was kind of similar in enjoyment to that one with the court case was fun, but it wasn't as exciting as the 4th episode. Episode 6 was definitely my least favorite. I put it at, I don't know, was that 10%? It was okay, so I enjoyed it maybe a tiny bit, but really it was just full of wedding cliches and unnecessary fighting. Not to mention, it just really felt like a throwaway episode. Episode 7, we're making our way up again a bit, but it's still I don't know, 30%. It's starting to connect dots to the overall plot, but it still felt like a bit of a filler episode. Then episode 8, we make a huge jump. As soon as Matt Murdock walked through those courtroom doors, everything just went uphill. Everything in that episode was basically perfect, from him in court and the action scenes, his interactions with Jen, everything. It was great. And I thought it couldn't get better, but I put the last episode at 100%. Oh my goodness, it surpassed my expectations. It was just a wild ride. The finale was great. And I loved how she just broke the fourth wall, literally went into Disney Plus to go to Marvel Studios and change the ending. I was just enjoying myself, laughing the heck out of it all during that whole episode. I loved it. So yeah, there were definitely ups and downs in the show. I think overall I did enjoy it. There were some really low episodes, some really high episodes, and some in between episodes, especially at the beginning. But in the end, I honestly really liked the show. Like I mentioned, there were a lot of things, especially at the beginning, that felt kind of cliche or cheesy, but it really made up for it at the end. There was the dip close to the end, but then you just have to make it past that wedding episode, and everything is just so good at the end, honestly. I was really thoroughly enjoying myself for the duration of those last 2 episodes, especially. I was smiling, laughing. It was really good. In general, with the plot, I think that there were some high points and low points. In general, the dating subplots were meh. The legal portion of the show was actually pretty good. I mean, with any of those court cases, these episodes were just so short and there was so much in them because they had to have the superhero stuff, they had to have the comedy stuff, they had to have the dating stuff, it had to have all of the legal stuff as well, that they weren't really that complex, but a lot of them were pretty good, entertaining. I appreciated a lot of the comedy in the show, and so the fact that they were doing something totally different and doing a legal comedy was fun, and I enjoyed most aspects of that. Then in general, just the Hulk plot, where she becomes a Hulk and, has to learn her powers and learn to live with it. It was really interesting, especially since I thought it was cool to have a superhero who's totally, having to integrate her life and superhero form together in, a way that no other superhero really has before. I mean, there's other ones who were public, and, I mean, Tony Stark, that's half his personality, but at the same time, it's like she was also trying to accept the fact that she became a Hulk too, so it was cool to follow her on her journey. The end part where she's just like, this totally went off the rails. Honestly, I wasn't totally hating the cliche Hulk subplot where Todd, or whatever his despicable face was named, tried to turn himself into a Hulk. Like, I wouldn't have hated it if they stuck with that. Like, it was just, you know, typical or whatever. But I really loved it when at the end she's like, no, this is just a mess. And she went to freaking Marvel Studios. I loved that part. And I personally, I mean, I have mentioned this before, I haven't actually read any Marvel comics, so I can't pretend to be like some die-hard fan of all of these comic characters. I really am just focused on the MCU, so I didn't really know beforehand what She-Hulk's character was like in the comics, but I have learned that, like, her character does that in some of the comic books and stuff, so that's really interesting, and it was an interesting way to do that as a Disney Plus show, for her to go out of the Disney Plus menu and then show up in Marvel Studios and talk to the writers, and, like, I just really enjoyed that. And then Kevin was an AI instead of Kevin Feige. It was good. I thought that was good. It makes the ending a little bit confusing, because then it's like, well, what actually happened? How does this impact the MCU? But at this point, I'm starting to become okay with the fact that the MCU has just gotten so big that it's gonna be messy. So, it's okay. I enjoyed it, that's what matters. It was fun. I think this is a good time to talk about, like, the style of the show. Something that was fun about the show is just how there were a lot of fourth wall breaks with Jen's character. She just, you know, brings attention to the fact that it's a show. And not only that, there were a lot of times where maybe it felt like the show wasn't necessarily taking itself seriously, which I like. I can understand why other people that might not be other people's cup of tea, but I enjoyed a lot of that, especially like all of the fourth wall breaks. I thought they were really fun. As always with MCU, I also like to talk about the action. The action sequences, when they happened in this show, were pretty good. I definitely feel like the episodes I liked the best were the ones that had more action in them, because I don't know, I personally find them more enjoyable when there's a little bit of that instead of just, you know, the court cases or whatever. Well, aside from the finale, I guess that one didn't really have that much action, but I loved it for a whole different reason. But anyway, I liked the ones with action, and the action in the second to last episode was just really good. I really enjoyed that one. I think that's part of there's so many factors that made that episode so good, that was one of them, like seeing Daredevil in action and She-Hulk and them both working together and against each other for a little bit. Like, I think that was really well done. But that there was some action lacking in a lot of the episodes, or, you know, the totally unnecessary fight scene at the wedding, which I very much disliked that part. So, I mean, I guess I didn't like all the action, but I did really like it in, like, when they were fighting the demons, and in the second to last episode, those ones were pretty good. And the last thing I have to talk about is the characters. I always like talking about the characters, because having likable characters is one thing that really makes or breaks a show for me, I feel like. And there were a lot of likable characters. I liked Jen for the most part, but I don't think she was my favorite character. I liked her most of the time, but sometimes she was, I don't know, a bit intense in her lawyering or obsessive about the dating stuff. That I didn't like that part as much, but she was all right. But I really loved how she broke the fourth wall, so that makes it good for me. Also, I always loved it when she would poke fun at Marvel tropes and stuff, and if it wasn't like a clear fourth wall break, but it was just making fun of stuff like with references to Marvel stuff for us, the fans, those were good parts as well. I also really loved Pug and Nikki. There were some episodes where I wish we saw a little bit more of them, but like especially the episode when they were going to try to find the tailor for Jen, the interactions with them there were really good. Pug in the last episode, both of them were pretty great. I liked both of them. And then all the cameos. There were lots of references and lots of cameos cameos in this show. Personally, I didn't like Bruce that much in this show, which is interesting because normally I feel like I like Bruce Banner, but he just wasn't my fave. He was like, especially that first episode, he was just like, so this is it, everything is cliche superhero and that's it. Anyway, he wasn't my favorite in this show, and that's that. I did really enjoy the cameos with Wong and Emil though. They were fun to have. And then of course, Matt Murdock. I've already mentioned it like 3 times, but one of the best parts of the show was when he came in. And it's just great because like, not just seeing him fighting as Daredevil, or seeing him as Matt Murdock in the court, which were both great, but also just his interactions with Jen, like the two of them just had really fun interactions back and forth and whatnot, and I was not upset that they had a little fling. And I really liked the end scene where they had a family dinner and he was there. I thought that was fun, so I really enjoyed him being in the show. Honestly, that was one of the things that really made it enjoyable at the end, so good on them. I think that's everything I wrote down in terms of thoughts I wanted to talk about. So yeah, that's it. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think about She-Hulk? Do you disagree with me or have any other thoughts that I didn't mention about what you liked or disliked about the show? But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, which you can do by clicking over there. Check out more videos. Up top is my compilation of the TikTok reactions to the show, and underneath that is a playlist of all of my review videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!